Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, construction worker shot dead in Kingston. Police are investigating the fatal shooting of a 48-year-old construction worker in Rockford, Eastern Kingston on Friday night. The deceased has been identified as Kadian Thomas of 16 Roosden Road. According to reports, Thomas was on Roosden Road when he was shot and injured at about 9:45 p.m. He was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital where he was pronounced dead. A motive for the killing has not yet been established. The Elletson Road Criminal Investigation Branch is leading the probe. Man held after gun and 161 rounds of ammo seized in St. Thomas operation. A man is in police custody following the seizure of an illegal firearm and 161 rounds of ammunition during an operation in Logwood, Yallas on Friday. The Yallas police reported that around 5:23 p.m., officers searched the premises in the community where they found a 1.38 revolver and the 161 rounds of assorted ammunition. The man was taken into custody on suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. St. Elizabeth man admits to break-in and theft from local business, says police. A 25-year-old laborer has reportedly admitted to breaking into and stealing from a business establishment in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth last weekend. He is Jamario Jarrett, otherwise called Oreo, of Hymantown, Brighton District. Jarrett was charged based on evidence collected at the scene and a caution statement he gave in which he admitted to the crime, a police statement said Saturday. The incident allegedly occurred along Main Street around 2 a.m. on May 17. According to the Black River Police, the female business owner had securely locked up and gone home when she received information that her premises was being broken into. The police were alerted and on arrival reportedly saw two men fleeing the scene with items in hand. Investigators later found that the perpetrators had gained entry by forcing open a rear window. Jarrett was listed as a person of interest and later turned himself in on Thursday. Kingston sales rep charged with alleged $4 million theft. A 34-year-old sales representative has been charged in connection with the alleged theft of nearly $4 million from her employer. She is Lorian Hyde of Glendale Avenue in Kingston 10, a police statement said on Friday. Hyde was charged with larceny as a servant after an internal audit reportedly uncovered multiple irregularities involving customer accounts between October 2023 and November 2024. According to the Halfway Tree Police, the company's audit revealed that Hyde allegedly collected a total of $3.8 million from various customers but failed to hand over the funds to her employer. The discrepancies led to a report being made to the police. Hyde was taken into custody on Tuesday and charged on Thursday after undergoing a question and answer session in the presence of her attorney. Court throws out man's negligence lawsuit and rules he caused the crash. The Supreme Court has ruled that a man was the source of his misfortune in a 2013 road crash, dismissing his personal injury lawsuit against the taxi driver and the vehicle owner. Justice Andrea Jarrett, in a written judgment delivered May 16, found that Stephen Thompson, who was 16 at the time, caused the crash by riding downhill with a friend on the crossbar of his bicycle, overtaking traffic before crashing into a taxi operated by Barrington Brown. The vehicle was owned by Patricia Carnegie Smith, who has now been awarded $139,000 in damages and the loss of use after succeeding in a counterclaim against Thompson. I find that it is more probable than not that the claimant, riding downhill with a pillion rider on the bicycle's crossbar, had difficulties balancing the bicycle, lost the control of it, and collided into the right side of the second defendant's taxi Justice Jarrett ruled. Thompson filed the negligence lawsuit in January 2017, seeking, among other things, special damages to cover medical and transport expenses. Brown was the first defendant and Carnegie Smith the second defendant. The trial took place over 3 sittings between 2023 and 2025. Thompson, then a student of Troy High School, claimed he was riding cautiously when Brown's taxi, allegedly speeding and overtaking other vehicles, collided with him. But the court found Thompson's version implausible and contradicted by his medical reports. Thompson sustained an open fracture to his right knee, was hospitalized for months, and underwent multiple surgeries. In court, he said the crash left him unable to play sports, deeply depressed, and afraid to ride on the road again. However, a contemporaneous medical report from the Mandeville Regional Hospital, written by Dr. Margaret Wong, recorded a different account, which the court found more credible than the testimony offered at the trial. Patient was the rider of a bicycle which was towing his friend on the handlebar, attempted to overtake a car, lost the control, and ran into the car, the report stated. Thompson disputed ever saying that to the doctor, but Justice Jarrett found no explanation for why he had not challenged or corrected the report in the 10 years leading up to trial, especially since he relied on it in court. If Dr. Wong had made a mistake, I would have expected that steps would have been taken by the claimant to have Dr. Wong correct it before a trial which took place 10 years later, the judge wrote. The court was also unconvinced by Thompson's claim that carrying a pillion on the crossbar did not affect his control of the bicycle. The judge said it was unsafe and likely contributed to the crash. There can be no question that it is unsafe to ride a bicycle with a pillion rider on the crossbar, she wrote. The extra weight would likely create difficulties, particularly when riding downhill. The court noted that even Thompson admitted during cross-examination that he could not stop his bicycle because he was trying to regain balance. Brown, the taxi driver, testified that he saw the bicycle suddenly overtake a vehicle and swerved into his lane. He claimed to have immediately pulled left into the soft shoulder and stopped, but the bicycle still struck the right side of his vehicle. While there were inconsistencies in Brown's evidence, such as where exactly on the vehicle the impact occurred, Justice Jarrett said those discrepancies were not enough to discredit his overall account. Ultimately, the court ruled that Thompson failed to prove the driver was negligent or that he had breached the duty of care owed to the road. There was nothing else the first defendant could have done in the circumstances to avoid the collision, the judge stated. Thompson's claim was dismissed and he was ordered to pay cost. Meanwhile, Carnegie Smith, the vehicle owner, was awarded judgment in her counterclaim for $111,000 in repairs and $28,000 for loss of use with interest and legal cost. Thompson was represented by attorney Sean Kinghorn, while Carnegie Smith's case was led by attorney Jamila Maitland. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.